Campaigns are heating up in Zimbabwe with just 3 days left before the general election. The poll is seen as a two-horse race between incumbent President Emmerson Mnangagwa and opposition leader Nelson Chamisa. Newzroom Afrika's Audrey Chimwanda is following the developments and joins us now live from Bulawayo. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us, Audrey. Give us a sense of the climate, the political climate with the elections just days away.
Dudu, we are coming to you from the second largest city here in Zimbabwe, known as the City of Kings and Queens. And of course, that's a nickname based off of how this city was founded back in the 70s. Now, this city is a province in its own right. And of course, it has quite a large number of the electoral voter base that is hoping to cast their votes in a couple of days' time on Wednesday as this country goes to the polls. You're asking how the mood is here on the ground. It's a bit busy this morning. I'm going to ask my colleague, Audrey, to just pan around so you can get a sense of how the city is on a Saturday morning. There are posters of political candidates plastered across the city from both the ZANU-PF ruling party and the opposition CCC. We had the incumbent President Mnangagwa holding a mass rally just a few weeks ago as he made his last campaign in the Matabeleland region. Just tomorrow, we've also learned that the main opposition candidate, Nelson Chamisa, will also be holding his rally in the city tomorrow. A number of people here are giving us their views in terms of what they expect out of these elections as they expect to, of course, line up and cast their ballots. A number of mixed views, a bit of apathy here and there, some that are eager to actually go and make sure that they exercise their civic duty. I have a guest with me, a registered voter. Her name is Rosaline, and she's happy to share with us what are some of her aspirations and hopes as she wakes up on Wednesday morning to go and cast a vote. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika, Rosaline. Share with us what you are hoping to be the outcome of this election.
We're just hoping peaceful and harmonized elections. Whatever the results, we are prepared. We just want to move on as a country. We just want to move on.
And when you say move on, what are some of the issues that you're hoping that whoever comes into power addresses immediately? When it comes to your bread and butter issues, what comes to your mind immediately?
We need jobs. As I stand here, I'm a degree holder, but currently I'm just a hustler, buying and selling. We need jobs. Whoever is going to come in power, if they're going to continue or a new power is coming in, they should consider us. We're learned. We need to use those certificates.
Now, a number of learned Zimbabweans, as you would say, have left the country to try and find greener pastures out there. You have made the conscious decision to stay in Zimbabwe, in Bulawayo specifically. What made you stay?
I enjoy working. I told myself that despite it being hard, the economy is really hard. We're struggling, but we're trying, we're surviving. Though we wish it will change so that when we work, we see what we're working for. Oft lately is just to buy food, put on your table, eat. The next day you're also thinking of food. We need savings. We have kids. We have to plan ahead for those kids.
Thank you for speaking to us. Rosaline, there is one of the registered voters who is vowed to make sure that she casts the ballot come Wednesday. She speaks of jobs, being an unemployed graduate. Bulawayo is the industrial hub, or at least used to be the industrial hub of Zimbabwe, and one of the campaign messages from the candidates has been to say we want to revitalize that industrial hub. It's known for manufacturing food, textiles, just to mention a few, and people are hoping that if those industries are resuscitated, then the issue of unemployment, which really has the highest figures, some of the highest figures in this country, can be addressed. And Paul?
Unemployment and the cost of living are certainly two of the most pressing issues, as your guest made mention there, of the impact and how it's affecting her and her family and her plans, of course, for the future. How are the candidates now addressing this as they go out and make promises and try and woo voters? What have been some of the highlights when it comes to addressing these very pressing issues?
So one of the mantras that we've heard, particularly from the incumbent President Mnangagwa, has to be that Zimbabwe is open for business. They're trying to resuscitate the infrastructure so that it becomes a investment hub for foreigners that want to come into the country and help resuscitate that part of the industry. That's the only way that it says jobs can be created. But outside of that, there's been a number of projects that have been happening inside of Zimbabwe, outside of having foreigners come and invest. We've seen a number of mines being opened. We've seen a number of industries being resuscitated as well. The opposition, CCC, of course, leans more towards the issue of human rights, so that the issue of sanctions is removed from Zimbabwe, thereby opening Zimbabwe back into the world.
Very well, Audrey. Thank you so much. Let's leave it there for now. Of course, we'll catch up with her throughout the course of the day as we bring you live updates of the mood, assessing the atmosphere, and, of course, the big concerns as the country prepares to cast votes.